This week I decided to focus some of the rehearsal on movement, developing on ideas from previous weeks. This would allow me to see how well movement can be developed on Skype as a rehearsal tool.
Okay, so last week we spoke about the use of a blazer in the box to kind of represent businessman and stereotypical ideals of males. So what I want you to do is we're going to try physically rehearsing on Skype.
I decided to give the performer some direction and a parameter to make movement, but as the movement is for his own character, I decided that he should develop some movement by himself and we could work it together. This gives the performer ownership.
So I want you to come up with 4 movements that you could use. So pretend like you've got it out of the box. 4 physical movements that you could use to represent the blazer and kind of represent the businessman part of the blazer.
Right, okay then.
Okay.
So, right. So I think I always like that. I think I might have. Yeah, like there's So say like if I hold it up in front of myself and like I'm sort of showing the audience like exactly what I'm holding, and then. I mean, it's quite a classical move, I guess, when it comes to it. But like, if I sort of like swung it around, and it lands on my shoulders, but like have it there for a second. I don't know. Like, obviously, like I got that swing. Need to obviously get it on. I think is the main thing. That's the first priority. Like, would be to get it on.
So maybe some moves like you putting your arms into it.
Yeah. And so like I could bring it forward, or I could like, I don't know, I could bring it like up and I put my arm through.
That's
and
quite
then
nice.
do the same thing again, or a different direction perhaps.
Yeah.
So I could swing it around once it's on my shoulders, kind of get it in, or a different direction, or I could.
It seemed at this point that the performer was getting a little muddled in his creative flow, and therefore I decided to give my input on his ideas.
Thing, I think
I
think the outstretched thing makes it quite significant, and if we can make it like a bit of a struggle for you to get into it almost.
Yeah.
So it shows that struggle of like the businessman and all that kind of thing.
Yeah. So that because it's a blazer, and I think it's always good with the businessman look as well to like hold the lapel of the blazer.
Yeah.
I'm holding the lapel, I can sort of like shrug my shoulders into it. Shrug it or something.
I like that. It's kind of the weight of the world as well, kind of on your shoulders. So I quite like that heaviness on your shoulders. I think that's quite a nice thing to go with.
Drop it a little bit, like, because it's so heavy. Like, I could really drop it.
Yeah.
And just try to forward it a little bit.
I like the weight of it kind of thing.
Yeah.
I really like that.
And they're like, oh yeah, and like, I mean, obviously with the typical business look is like a tie, I guess, as well. And so like, there could be some movement where like I'm grabbing hold of my tie, whether I have one on or not, like wearing the blazer will sort of show that I'm doing a tie, I guess.
Yeah.
And so I could do some like rise with it, I guess. Like I'll do a tie and like rise up, and there could be some kind of like strangling movement, like strangling, but like suffering a little bit. Like it's so tight, it's so.
Yeah, I really like the idea of you really, really feeling it on you, like a really, really physical presence of this kind of jacket and tie. That's really nice.
Yeah, and then I could even like, I don't know, maybe it might be too much, but then I can even like hold on to the tie and like pretend I'm just like.
Just a little lean, like a little hanging.
Like the struggles of a businessman.
Up until this point, movement, although it was taking place, had been pretty static. Therefore, I encouraged the performer to put movements together fully now. I feel that the way the performer had naturally stayed stationary until this point could be the influence of Skype.
So do you think you could put those together now and we'll just see how it looks, however you can in space?
So what do we have? We had the round, the movement, the struggle, and then we'll go with like the tie look, I guess. Yeah, okay. So
so however you can
like
in space.
move my chair away a little bit.
Yeah.
See if I can do something stood up. I don't have like lots and lots of room, but I can do something, I guess. Right. So if I it's in the box, isn't it, on the floor? Okay. So
if you go down to the box,
we're going down. can bring it up and show.
Yeah.
We could like swing it around on my shoulders.
Yeah.
We're gonna go up to get it in,
Mhm.
and then I can sort of let the pals and like struggle with it.
Yeah.
And then get my tie,
Mhm.
bring it up, and then like even have like a little drop with it.
Yeah, I like that.
And go round, 1, 2, struggle, tie, hang. Those movements together.
That's really nice. Yeah, I like that. I like that a lot. I think it works.
One negative factor there was that I could not see the whole of the performer, though in a different space the performer could probably have moved back further, which may have allowed for this. Although not seeing all of him meant that I couldn't get the whole idea of the movement, it still allowed me to see if the movement would initially work or not. Next I decided to work on Romeo and Juliet. I decided to look at ideas with the performer about audience interaction.
So obviously we've been talking about like the whole kind of audience aspect in Romeo and Juliet, like what we're going to do with that. So we'll just have like a little brainstorming session about ways that we can include the audience within it, and what kind of things we might need to put in place to do that. So obviously at the beginning, obviously like the idea of them being cat and dog. Like the audience being cat and dog as well as us.
Right, okay.
So they're kind of segregated as well as us. Yeah, do you like that idea?
Yeah, no, I do actually, because they are like typically seen as opposites or like opposing forces anyway.
Yeah, exactly.
Just like Romeo and Juliet, the two separate families.
Yeah.
So yeah, that fits in well.
So I'd like the audience to feel it.
Yeah, they'll understand
as much
that
as us.
quite well.
I feel this showed good professional practice. I allowed the performer to give his opinion on ideas, which means that he feels like he can collaborate and negotiate with me, and vice versa. I then decided to discuss further with the performer the idea of the audience wearing masks or ears.
How do you think we could do it? Do you think that we should... So I'm a bit worried that obviously putting masks on them might obviously make a few people feel quite uncomfortable. It's quite a... Some people can have a thing about masks and things, can't they?
I guess it would depend on like how oppressed you want them to feel from it, I guess.
Yeah.
But if not, I suppose you could, instead of like whole masks, you could do tail and ears, I guess.
I was thinking ears.
Yeah, ears are a good one because they're quite distinctive, I guess.
Yeah.
But then like obviously your cast can be more mask orientated and more defined cat and dog than the audience. I think if you've got the cast sort of definite cat and dog with more defined masks, then just the simple ears and tail or something like that given to audience members, they'll know and they'll be able to associate that easier. Yeah,
I was thinking the same thing because they're obviously going to know it's cat and dog because we're going to be in like, full cat and dog. Yeah. So I think the ears will I think they'll get it.
I then decided to inform the performer of some of the information that myself and my mentor had shared, as this would again contribute to the ideas that were being created.
I was speaking to Elaine, a mentor, and she was saying that we could like possibly make them.
Okay then.
What do you think? Do you think getting some like plain headbands and kind of...
Yeah, I mean...
I don't want it to look too arts and crafts. I don't want it to look too...
No. I mean, gosh, like... I can see it now, like headbands and like some white felt with some pink felt.
Yeah.
Or like just some coloured felt, and like as long as it's got like the little pink felt in a bit, like that'll be an obvious inner ear, and then you can get some different colour. Like it's more the shape than anything.
Exactly, completely.
Yeah, no, I think that's doable. I mean, gosh,
like dog ears, floppy, cat ears, sticky up. We could do that,
like,
right?
Trial and error anyway. Like give it a bash and see what it looks like. It's the best you can do.
The performer currently works in fashion and has a fashion industry background. Therefore, I took the opportunity to learn from his knowledge in this area, and I think this showed good professional practice, knowing my strengths and my weaknesses and taking that from others.
As you've got fashion knowledge and experience, do you think we could get some fabric really cheap?
Yeah, I mean, gosh, I'd be happy to source that for you as well. Like a bit of fabric. I might even have some lying around myself just to give some test runs.
Yeah, I think if we experiment with it.
Yeah,
And
gosh,
see
you
where
can
it
get, like,
goes.
headbands from anywhere, really, like really cheaply, can't you? Like,
Yeah, I'm not too worried about those.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think like you say, just a trial and error and see.
Yeah, and
See
see
what
what they look
happens.
like, and just see how defined they are. Like, oh, that's
Yeah.
definitely like it. It's like, do some tester ones. Just go up to someone and say, what do you think these are?
Yeah. What do I look like? What do I look like now?
As the performer was contributing so well, I decided to explore some more ideas with him, such as physically segregating the audience.
Also, what I was thinking is obviously segregating them as well physically within the space. I'm thinking of the audience standing throughout because obviously we've done a few rehearsals and it's been quite quick. It's not really a very long piece.
Yeah, no.
So I'm wondering, if they stand throughout and we could separate them in the space. Do you think like tape or something?
It will definitely engage them more if they're stood anyway.
Yeah.
Like you said, it is a fairly quick piece, and so they won't be too uncomfortable standing. I mean, that shouldn't really be an issue anyway. Like
No.
the nature of the piece, you kind of want them to maybe feel a little bit uncomfortable anyway. Really.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, I think that's a good idea. Definitely segregate them. That's sort of the main point, isn't it?
Mm. Yeah, that'll work, right?
I think that'll be the best case scenario. I think standing is definitely not an issue. I think we want to engage with them more. We want them to feel it more and definitely feel that they're a part of it.
Yeah.
Then sitting down is typically associated with an audience member. You want to be a bit more than an audience member.
Exactly.
And if they're stood, then they'll feel that better.
Yeah, definitely.
As the piece contains no speech, music will be very important. Therefore, I decided to share music ideas with the performer. When accessing browsers whilst on Skype, the Skype screen changes to a small screen in the corner in which only the performer can be seen, not myself. This is useful though, as it allows me to have full screen on the browser.
Okay, so obviously we're talking about like music decisions and things like that. So I'm going to share with you now the music that I think you will enter to with Romeo and Juliet. So obviously you'll be entering with like Ash and Jack, hopefully.
Right.
But this is the music choice, I think. So we'll give it a listen and let me know what you think, like movement-wise and things like that. So obviously it's quite like it's got a bit of an 80s vibe, to be honest. Yeah, so like I say, a bit of an 80s vibe, a bit like party-ish and all that kind of stuff. What do you think?
Yeah, no, I think that's brilliant. I mean, I could see it like a club setting as well, isn't it? Like that's the thing.
Exactly,
isn't it?
yeah.
So that's perfect. Like that kind of background, and I think that's a sort of good era as well to sort of focus it in.
Yeah.
Like, that was when you would have a more segregated sort of parts and sides and two different sort of gangs. Like very, not the same era, but it does remind me, and obviously being Romeo and Juliet, it does remind me of sort of West Side Story take on it as well, like Jet Sharks.
Yeah,
like,
definitely.
Different music, different groups, different segregated people in a club,
massively.
in a setting. Yeah, no, I like that.
I then decided to speak with the performer some more about ideas that I had for the piece, such as using pop culture movies.
So that's another point, like famous love scenes from movies and things. So already thought of like Romeo and Juliet, Titanic.
Dirty Dancing.
Dirty Dancing. I think Dirty Dancing's one that we could add in. What else have we got? Ghost. Ghost's a good one.
They're iconic, aren't they? Like...
Yeah, they're iconic. We just need to think of like a few more. So I'm gonna give that to you as homework. I think we think of like 3 each.
Okay.
And I'll think of some movements for 3. You think of some movements for 3, and then we'll put them together.
Right, sure.
Sweet. Okay.